Hello guys, welcome to a very interesting live session from Aussizz group. We are waiting for more viewers to join. We'll be starting in the next 3 to 4 minutes.
So thanks guys. And Deepa, okay, we're gonna be doing video soon. How was your day today? Going pretty busy?
Right, it's been a hectic day. There are many students who are approaching us to plan their next course for 2023.
Okay.
Right, they're currently underway with the current course, but they would like to plan, okay, what would be the ideal course that they can study for job prospects as well as for good PR prospects. So we are busy helping students, yes.
Yep, no, that's right. See, again, it's a good sort of lead which education counselors are focusing on students to get their, admissions.
Yes.
We are also seeing a lot of people, where they are requiring help in
Yes.
regards to considering that which course a person must choose.
Yes.
So education counselors are pretty helpful guys
Yeah.
when it comes to choosing a course.
Yeah, I guess that everyone knows, but what else, right? Sometimes you may not straightforwardly meet entry requirements, but we can help you prepare the best application for you by helping you with your statement of purpose or statement of suitability. Many times for students, they do want to do a course, but they could be a bit price sensitive because it could be a bit out of pocket for them. So we help them with scholarships as well and credit exemptions, how to make the most of your the money that you're spending on education, how to get the most value for it is what an education consultant can guide them for.
So do you guys, Deepa, have an idea how the country is going with the employment prospectus when you are advising people about those courses?
Yes. See, I myself have been an international student, right? So I can see the stark contrast with how the job market is reacting to international students compared to when I was studying. Because when I graduated, we used to have 18 months of post-study work, right? And it would be really hard to get your first professional job in your field, which would be very important for your skill assessment and your further PR as well. Whereas now, I've personally taken testimonials of students where even before graduating, they have a job offer. Even on a bridging visa A, they have a job offer because I think Australian employers now value international students, their contribution. And I believe international students are very resilient as well. So they're willing to go out there and be very proactive and network. So they're putting themselves in the best position so that employers can find them too.
With the work rights thing, Deepa, we've seen that students have been given the full-time work rights. Do you believe this is a good sort of approach if it is extended? Now they've told until June 2023.
Yes.
Do you think it was a good move by the politicians to decide that student must be given full-time work rights?
I feel sometimes it looks like, okay, just to address the short-term work skill shortage, the government has allowed it until 2023, June 2023. But what after that? Our international students aren't going to contribute beyond that. So it looks like at the moment international students are a bit exploited, but I feel international students should take advantage of these things and really get into the job market even while studying the course. For example, you're doing an internship, but if you're full-time work rights, that employer will be willing to pay you as well, and those sort of things really add value to your resume. So I feel students should strike a balance between their study and work. So if you work too much and you're not concentrating on achieving academic progress, then you will be under trouble when it comes to renewing your student visa because you won't have much progress to show as an international student. So striking a balance is important, but I feel these policies really help students to get as much experience in their field as possible. So these are good things for the student, yes.
Okay, and like you yourself, you've been into this education sector so long. Normally the parents who are looking for the student visa pathways in future, they have those concerns. Do universities also have any kind of recruitment process if someone is looking for a job in their normal occupation?
Yes and no. Some universities are very focused on the academia and research, right? So it is sometimes in certain countries in the subcontinent, South Asia, universities have placement cells where, they place students also, and that becomes part of their services that they provide.
Yeah.
Australia is trying to do that as much as possible. But I guess in a country like Australia, the best thing that universities are doing right now is work-based learning. So the last, let's say, the third semester or your fourth semester in your master's normally is where they put the student in an internship setting in an Australian work setting, where students can go on to prove themselves and properly get a full-fledged job in their field, right? So these are the extent at which Australian universities are helping. There are also some universities that have really good industry connections as well, where the placements are at like big four banks or IT companies and all of those things. That's why you have to talk to a counselor on which university have more research incentive, whereas which university have really good graduate employment outcomes. Because we know universities that have really high graduate employment outcomes, where students get placed within 6 months of graduation. And so accordingly, we tell the students.
So again, guys, it feels like, talking to a professional is much more, recommended, because there are a lot of questions. Of course, parents, we have seen they have a lot of questions when they are, consulting us in regards to which course, which universities, which state one must go. Focusing on PR is one thing as well, but they are also looking for employment opportunities, fee structure, duration of the classes, work, study load. So again, guys, you should probably meet educational counselor. So okay, let's start, Deepa. Why we are here today.
All right.
What is our main reason?
Right. Today we are going to talk about teaching courses and its career and PR prospects. So what are some of the popular and most opted for teaching courses? And in terms of PR prospects, we'll be happy to help, but I'm going to delve deep into what is the academic entry requirement, what are some of the tips and tricks where you can still crack the entry requirements. And so we are going to have a session on teaching courses, guys.
So as you know, guys, even Deepa, myself, we are here, even you guys are watching us. Teacher plays a pretty important role in everybody's life. We have seen teachers who have made big sort of industrial contribution in regards to building an individuals. If one person is choosing this particular course, I believe you are giving a lot back to the community.
Correct.
So Deepa, starting with the when it comes to teaching, what courses will we be discussing?
Right. So we will be talking about early childhood teaching as well as primary and secondary teaching. But we will be, actually the most popular ones are early childhood teaching and the secondary teaching, because primary teaching is not in the 189 list. So most international students opt for the early childhood and the secondary. So we are going to be talking about these two courses in particular. So one thing is that if you are going to be a teacher, in Australia, you will be teaching Australian kids. You will be teaching students from diverse backgrounds. So English competency is a must, right? So one thing students have to understand is that teaching courses will require, starting for entry, 7 each. No bands less than 7. There are 1-2 institutions that can accept a 6.5 as well. But at the time of skill assessment or at the time of registration to practice in a particular state, students must understand that they must have really high English scores, which I'll be telling what exactly it is. So one thing that students should keep in mind is that for teaching careers, I'll have to improve my IELTS. IELTS, I say specifically because the Skill Assessment Authority will only accept IELTS. Even though for the entry into the course, some universities can take IELTS or PTE, but eventually you must have strong English competency skills in IELTS to get your skill assessment.
So when we are saying IELTS, why is it IELTS general?
It would be IELTS academic for the education purposes, but for skill assessment purposes, yes, it can be general. Now, first, I think we'll talk about early childhood courses, right? So if you are looking to do early childhood courses, you can do Bachelor's of Early Childhood Education and Care. You can also do Graduate Diploma of Early Childhood Education and Care if you've already completed a bachelor's course in any field. Or you can do a Master's of Teaching specializing in early childhood.
All right.
Right. Now, when you talk about the Bachelor's of Early Childhood Education and Care, it is for 4 years.
Okay.
Right. Now, when it comes to the entry requirement for that courses, you have to have a year 12 in your home country where you have achieved satisfactory results. And again, you must have IELTS 7 each, no bands less than 7. Right. Now, what if I don't have 7 each? Can I not do the course? No. if let's say that your IELTS range is in 5.5, what you can also do is you can start a diploma of early childhood education and care, right? And that will be 5.5, but that will give you credits into your bachelor's. So
basically it can be a pathway.
It can be a pathway. So it can give you 1 year credits into the bachelor's. So only 3 years of bachelor's will be remaining. But at the same time, the interesting thing is that when you start the bachelor's, you don't have to provide your 7 each resource. Just with the fact that you've completed a diploma, you can get credits and start your second year of the bachelor's in most universities. Okay. So in a way, you are circumventing around the high English language requirement. If you don't have 7 each also, you could start from the diploma of early childhood, and then you can go on to do the Bachelor of Early Childhood Education, right? But so what about students who've already completed bachelor's, right? The most appealing program nowadays is the Graduate Diploma of Early Childhood Education and Care, because it is just 1 year, but within 1 year, you earn the skills and competencies, as well as you will meet the skill assessment requirement to be qualified as an early childhood teacher. Okay. Because the graduate diploma, which is for 1 year, will come with the 45 days of supervised teaching practice. In fact, more than that, 60 days. Okay. So you will be put in a setting where, as part of placements, you will be working as an early childhood teacher in childcare settings. Right? So you will be meeting all sorts of requirements for your skill assessment. Right? Now, for the Graduate Diploma of Early Childhood Education and Care, remember, guys, it's just for 1 year. And yes, you will need 7 each in most universities, but there are 1 or 2 providers that can accept a 6.5 as well as PTE scores as well. Because as I said, for admission, IELTS is not mandatory. PTE is also accepted. So if you want to look at a fastest course that can give you good PR prospects as well as good career prospects, this is a really good option, because this is just for 1 year. But for students who are looking to pursue a full-fledged master's, because the graduate diploma is just only 1 year, then they can go on to study Masters of Teaching, specializing in early childhood education as well. And that would be a 2-year course where you will be ensured of your post-study work rights, because that will be for more than at least 92 academic weeks.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yep.
So this is about the early childhood courses, guys. One more thing that I would like to bring into the attention, that whether I spoke about the bachelor's or the graduate diploma or the master's, they all come with the practical component, which would be for at least 60 days of supervised teaching practice, minimum, depending upon the university, that will help you become trained as an early childhood teacher, as well as will help you meet all the skill assessment requirements, which Kamaljeet sir here will be talking about more in detail.
Yeah.
Now, I also want to tell students that there are many, if you search for Masters of Teaching, sometimes you will also come to see courses called Bachelors of Education or Masters of Education. Yes. Now, there is a difference between teaching courses and education courses. Sometimes some course units will be called Bachelors of Education, specializing in early childhood teaching. So one has to be very clear, right? If a course is education course, then you are technically getting trained not to be a teacher, how to work in educational leadership or education management. Okay. Right? So don't go for courses that says Masters of Education. Go for courses that say Masters of Teaching. Okay. The word teaching is very important, as well as the course component is also very important, because you may choose a course, but then at the end, it may not give you the AITS and skill assessment.
Understood. Yes, that's right. That's right.
Now, one more tip I want to share with students in terms of I get that these courses are really good for career as well as PR, but the English language requirements seem to be high, right? So if you want to study the Graduate Diploma of Early Childhood Teaching or the Masters of Early Childhood Teaching, but you don't have your 7 each score, but if you have studied in Australia for 3 years already, that should be at an advanced diploma level or higher, then you can get English exemption as well. Okay. So because you've already done 3 years of study in Australia, based on that, many students have also sought English language exemption so that they can directly study the Graduate Diploma of Early Childhood Teaching or Masters of Teaching as well. Now, I want to now delve into the other popular teaching course, which is Masters of Teaching Secondary or Bachelor of Teaching Secondary. Mostly secondary teaching is at a master's level because it's a quite higher hierarchy. To teach secondary school students, you must already at least have a bachelor's, right? Yeah. So when you are, what does it mean by secondary school teaching? You will be teaching kids anywhere from year 6 to year 12.
Okay.
Right now, masters of teaching, the unique thing about masters of teaching is that yes, you can be from any bachelor's background to become to study masters in teaching, but you must be able to nominate one major subject area and one minor subject area. These two areas are where you will be teaching kids. For example, mathematics and arts, or biology and maths. Right? So if you have studied, for example, a bachelor's of computer science, a bachelor of computer science, a bachelor of computer science engineering, then you will be saying that, okay, I'll be teaching kids maths and computer science. So you must be able to nominate these two teaching areas so that you meet the entry requirement for the course. And you will also, many universities will also ask you to submit something called suitability statement. Like, why do you think you're a good teacher? What sort of passion do you share for this profession? What sort of inherent qualities you have in you that will make you a good teacher? Right? So they have to submit, they have to be able to assess what are the teaching areas where they will be teaching at, and they will also have to submit a statement. But as consultants, we help them in coming up with these sort of requirements as well. Right? So masters of teaching secondary is also very popular, especially where you don't want to teach younger kids, infants and toddlers. You want to be teaching young students, learners, then you can study masters of teaching secondary as well.
No, that's again, but these both courses are good. Considering, let's talk about employment.
Yes.
So what do you have to say about, especially considering if I'm going into teaching sort of courses? Of course, PR is one sort of a goal, but again, I'm looking for that career.
Yes.
Considering, Victoria and other states, what do you think, is it good option for employment?
Yes, early childhood is particularly going to be in demand in the next 5 years because the recent government announcement that year 3 kinder is going to be mandatory has, that means that they need more than 25,000 early childhood educators in the next 5 years in Victoria, right?
Just in Victoria.
Just itself. In Victoria itself. And at the same time, you can also see there are talks about Australia having to can make childcare free, these sort of things. So sort of becoming a more socialist policy. I don't know whether those things will technically happen, but in terms of this, in strengthening early childhood education is definitely a policy-wise intention for the government as well. So there is more and more employees needed. So there is a 28% projected increase in the next 5 years for early childhood educators nationwide. I'm not talking only for Victoria. And the salary is also pretty good. You start at a 70K per annum and 70 to 80K per annum. And then accordingly, how you progress, into educational leadership, you can earn very well. And it's very, I feel people are enriched because they're helping students, because being a teacher means you're mentoring a community. At the same time, they're also enriched financially as well because it's very rewarding.
Yes, that's right.
Right now, but let's talk about secondary teaching, right? There is the volume, job market volume is very high because there's about 150,000 teachers that they're already working, but they need at least 10 to 12% more teachers in the next 1 year as well. So really, it's not only that Victoria, there is a job shortage. Across Australia, there's really good opportunities. And for secondary teachers, the salary scale that's starting, it's pretty high. It's around 85K to start with. And they can go up to 120K per annum.
For the secondary school teacher?
For the secondary school
That's
teacher.
good money.
Yes. Now, let's delve a little bit into the skill assessment process and the PR process, because I've explained the course and the entry requirement, right? Could you talk a little bit about what is the skill assessment authority? What are their requirements, please?
Of course, Deepa, first of all, thanks for your valuable information, guys. Again, it's recommended to see a qualified counselor when we are dealing with courses, when we are deciding to go with the student visa options. And it's always good to see your migration agent when we are dealing with our permanent residency pathways in regards to Australia. Again, Deepa, moving on, explanation has been pretty nice that there are two sort of pathways where pre-primary,
early childhood.
Yes, early childhood teacher, and then we've got a secondary school teacher. Both are very nice occupations when we are considering them for PR prospectus.
Yes.
Given that, which option, the option you gave us for a graduate diploma in early childhood is one of my favorites, because we have seen a lot of students who have, utilized their studies into something else, or they were misguided, or they were not sure about their career pathways, and now they are sitting on 485 visas. This sort of course has helped a lot of students to choose their career in teaching, and plus moving forward into PR prospectus as well. Skill assessment is one of the documents, guys, which is required for a candidate if he's looking for a general skill migration pathways. AITSL is your skill assessment authority for getting the skill assessment. Requirements major if you have completed 4 years of study in Australia or from those countries which are mentioned on the website, you will be getting the exemptions for English, or else we have to do 778 listening, reading, writing, speaking in academic to obtain the skill assessment. There are a lot of questions. Even Mike and Gaz has said, I've completed 4 years of study in Australia. Yes, if you, as Deepa mentioned previously, that if we have completed those type of studies which are equal to Australian qualification framework, then yes, you will be getting the waivers, for your English consumption. Which teaching degree will be suitable to get PR in teaching? As we have previously mentioned, Maiken, that we can go into graduate diploma, we can go into bachelor's, we can go into master's as well. But again, we have to assess your case first.
Yes.
On the basis what you have done in the past, and which sort of course will be required to you, enrolling into future for PR pathways. But again, for that, you can consult with Deepa. Deepa can educate you more on what type of courses we are focusing on. PR.
So if you've already completed a bachelor's, I would suggest a graduate diploma or a master's. If you are a year 12 student, then a bachelor's.
Okay.
Yes.
So again, it's understood. Year 12, we have to go into bachelor's anyhow.
Yes.
Okay. But yes, again, if you are that type of candidate who's sitting on 485 visa, or who's in a verge of finishing his or her study, then probably we can go into graduate diploma.
Right. Can I get, okay, he said he has 4 years of study in Australia. Yes, that would grant you an English language exemption when it comes to your skill assessment. I have more than 5 years of gap now, however, that wouldn't matter. I don't think it mentions that a period.
He's saying he's got a 5 years of gap now, then he's saying 4 years of study in Australia.
Yes.
So that leaves us with the question, how long we have been here, Deepa?
Yes.
Okay, so we have to weigh up those things.
Maiken, if you have a 5-year gap, but you're offshore, but you're trying your prospects to come back to Australia, why don't we talk about it? I would leave our number in the comment section, and you can come and you can talk to us for a personalized consultation where we can help you after analyzing all of these factors, like what's the gap period and how we can best help you, right?
That's right.
Nancy Sharma is asking, when is the next intake and from which uni? So the next intake is February 2023. And there are many universities offering teaching courses. If you are asking about universities in Melbourne, we have Southern Cross Education Institute that is offering this course. There is also ACU that is offering this course. Depending upon the states, for example, even University of Sunshine Coast is offering this in regional area if you would like to study and take advantage of the regional points as well. So depends upon which region you want to study, we can help you. I am master's in chemistry with a B.Ed from India. I have 2 years of experience. I'm also having 8 bands each in IELTS. Which step should I take to initiate teaching? Can I directly apply for PR? So she seems to already have 8 bands each.
See, the problem here is, Deepa, because the occupation itself is not related to teaching. Because she has done master's in chemistry, the occupation, we are thinking about is chemist, or we are focusing on, chemistry technicians. But yeah, in regards to teaching,
she was a B.Ed,
yes,
Bachelor of Education.
Yeah, Bachelor's of Education is not major in teaching, as you previously mentioned us. So again, yes, if you've done bachelor's, we can assess if you've got those placement hours done, and then if those placement hours were in teaching, then we can assess the degree for her in Bachelor's of Education, because we have to see that placement hours if she has completed those ones.
Yes. So Nikita, I believe you have really good prospects because the 2 years of experience that you have could also negate the fact that maybe your degree doesn't have placements, but still you may have 2 years of work experience. If that 2 years of work experience is really as a secondary teacher, then you can go for secondary teaching PR prospect or a secondary teaching course as well, because you only have a B.Ed. You can do a master's of teaching. I would encourage for you to get in touch with us for a personalized consultation so that we can help you further.
Yeah.
What is the fee range for graduate diploma of early childhood? Thank you, Sunil, for your questions. So depending upon the institution, it is starting at around $22,000 to $25,000. If I have diploma of early childhood, what's the skill assessment process?
It's totally different to teaching.
Yes.
Deepa, okay, we will require work experience
Yes.
in your nominal occupation. So if he's already done diploma, I'll probably advise him to go with the bachelor's.
Correct.
Which
Yes.
is more sort of focusing on PR, easier than going into childcare center managers and all those kind of occupations.
Yes, and that's yeah, for students who have completed diploma of early childhood, even I suggest to take bachelor's with credits and try to finish that bachelor's, because you will then have 4 years of Australian study, then you can circumvent the English language requirement as well.
That's right.
12 years being here. All right. As I said, Michael, why don't you get in touch with us for a personalized consultation and we'll be happy to help you. Sangeeta, I'm a practicing teacher, 13 years of experience, secondary teaching experience, I think. Yes. As a direct PR application or study pathway for PR, can I contact? My emails are not answered. I'm offshore. Yes, I guess, Sangeeta, if you've not been able to get in touch with us, we apologize. But I guess WhatsApp would be really easy for us to communicate. So in the comment section, we'll be dropping our official business WhatsApp account number, and we can talk further to sort your situation out. But looking at how you have experience as a secondary school teacher and the qualifications as well, you would have good prospects, but it will also depend on your IELTS score for skill assessment. So let's discuss further once we receive more information from you.
That was most of the comments. So yeah, Deepa, skill assessment is one of those questions which, people, a lot of us ask, what are the pathways? Majorly, we can get the waiver for the English if we have done those 4 years, or else we have to do IELTS.
Correct. Yes.
Easy as it is. Moving forward into PR prospectus,
Yes.
As you previously mentioned, if you are that type of a candidate who is in Victoria itself, we are seeing that state government is going to invest a lot of money for our future children. So that gives us an sort of an indication that a lot of teachers will be required in coming future as well. So Victoria is one of those states, which is good. Moreover, if you are not from Victoria, still, when it comes to South Australia, Tasmania, or any other states as well, of course, teachers going to be required. It's just the matter, that what kind of study we are holding and what kind of study we are going to do in future. Considering the point system, we'll be lying in between 80 to 85 points.
Okay.
So if you are that type of a candidate who is looking for straight PR, we should be focusing on those points, that 80 to 85 points, is the margin where a person must be, achieving those scores. Of course, because 8778 is the minimum requirement. If you're able to score PT in more, then we can utilize that points for general skill migration. Right. And there are, easy pathways for PR as well.
Right. Yes. 80 to 85 points to target, guys, and better to work towards that. So one thing is that we recently did a video where a student was sharing her entire journey, right from the time she started early childhood till the time she got PR. And it took the person 3 years for the whole period, right from the time they started the course, from the time they scored the invitation. So I think it's really a value to do this course, because yes, you're getting, you may be done with the course 1 to 2 years, depending upon whether you choose graduate diploma or master's. But after that, if you strive towards getting that 80, 85 points, then you're set with your PR within the next minimum 3 years to maximum 4 years. So it's a very credible and reliable pathway for students.
That's good. Yes, because, as this course is also very popular.
Yes.
After nursing, if we are advising the courses, either, teaching or social work.
Yes.
So these are one of the courses, I think, in coming 5 to 6 to 7 years, they're going to still be in demand.
Yes.
So I'll probably ask, people that if teaching is one of those courses, if you have been, gathering all those experiences in your, career, and now you are focusing on PR, these courses can be one of those options.
Right. And I've helped many students who did this during their TR period.
Yeah.
Right. So they would be studying as a domestic student.
Yeah.
They don't need a COE. So let's say you have a preliminary PR pathway that looks very difficult, but you want a backup plan. You can study this during your TR and do the graduate diploma. You can be done in 1 year.
Yeah.
And work towards improving your English and have that score of 8 each, or 7.788 as they say, and that becomes a more credible pathway than your preliminary pathway, because invitations are coming in for teaching courses especially. Right. So many students have found success in, and also they've gone on to become successful teachers as well, because they're not exactly, if people think early childhood teaching means I'll be taking care of infants and toddlers and kids. Yeah, that is one aspect of it, but you'll also be in charge of developing the curriculum for them, planning their learning outcomes, coordinating. If you're working for a chain of childcare centers, you'll be also working as an education specialist, coordinating the entire early childhood learning program. So it is it has a lot of hierarchy there, where you can progress into,
of course,
really good leadership roles as well.
Yes, that's right. It's a nice career,
Yes.
Especially for ladies,
Yes.
That if they are into that kind of a situation, they want to lead their career into management role as well.
Yes.
With those qualifications.
That's correct.
Sunil is asking us a question. Sunil, I'll probably get in touch with you because you are getting confused, with diploma and the teaching sort of, courses. I'll probably personally get in touch with you to explain you what is your skill assessment requirement and what are the teacher's skill assessment. They are totally different.
Yes, because the diploma is different from the graduate diploma.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
That's right. So moving on,
Yes.
Deepa, always people have been thinking about, which state.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think?
Certainly a really good course to study in Victoria, because one thing I also want to tell is that the 1 year graduate diploma of early childhood, there are 3 providers in Victoria that have that, but not a lot of providers in other states.
All right.
So even when it comes to studying, also Victoria is an ideal state to study this course, right? Because if you go and look around and search for the same graduate diploma in Sydney or in Canberra or in South Australia, you may not find options. You may have, that doesn't mean there's no option. You may have to study the Masters of Teaching, Early Childhood, which is the 2-year one, right? So Victoria, I believe, would be a very ideal state to study, as well as for job prospects, as well as for PR prospects for this course. But let's not forget that it is in 189, skilled independent, as it is in the medium to long-term shortage list. So I guess it's ideal as for any state also, as long as you have the high points. Yes.
Yes, the most question, normally, Deepa, today we get from clients is they want to, they're concerned about getting these COEs and offer letters.
Yes.
And again, people, you need to understand, sometimes a consultant who's helping you with your admissions and stuff, they are not much experienced. They are not having those kind of knowledge, when they are advising the courses. So again, qualified, people are advised, recommended that you must get, of course, if your car breaks down, Deepa, we go to mechanic. We don't start doing things by yourself, because it will, again, if your application is refused by any sort of college or universities, then you'll be disappointed. So it's always advised you take your professional, sort of advice from the qualified counselors when they are guiding you through the courses.
Yes, I second you on that, Kamaljeet, because the advice is also to make sure that students don't breach any visa conditions. Do only things that allow that their visa limitations, they have visa limitations too. For example, if you've come for a master's, you can only study a master's course, right? You cannot downgrade without approval from the department. So considering these limitations, we suggest the best option for the students. And at the same time, I guess so this is Masters of Teaching secondary, I want to study, but I don't know whether I'll meet the entry requirement. We'll help you pick out those major subjects and minor subject areas. We'll help you address the university the best way in the form of your statement of purpose, as well as your statement of attainability, so that you make the best representation of your case, so that universities consider your application favorably. And that's a specialist job, and that's what we do. And at the same time, I feel I think the greatest joy is when students also get that scholarship. Right? Sometimes scholarship based on just academics and the entry requirements, but sometimes scholarship is based on the statement that you submit. Right? And or merit based, yes, but you will have to make an application for that. So we help students with working out all of those processes so that they can save money as well,
No, that's
and
great. Yeah.
win a good scholarship. So those sort of advice really help students in making sure that they're not reaching any visa condition, at the same time they're saving money as well.
So are you Deepa able to help people who are from offshore?
Yes. So Aussizz group has a widespread presence, right? All our Australia offices also help students who are anywhere globally actually to come to Australia, as well as we have physical offices in India and UAE. So if you're striving for your first student visa, then we start from profile assessment and what can make your profile better, and shortlisting which university where your admission will be more easier, which university where you will get access easily. Shortlisting as well as scholarship applications, everything we do help with until the final student visa grant process. Even after that, post-arrival support as well. Once you come in here, I guess Aussizz has offices across Australia in almost every state. You will also have that backbone where you're taken care of after coming to Australia as well for any help, and further go on until your PR journey. Yes.
Yeah. Again, we've got Norbu, I think he's saying, what about graduate masters of education specializing in early childhood education?
Okay, well, about students who have graduated from a master's of teaching specializing in early childhood teaching, yes, they are also an early childhood teacher. It's just that the 1-year version also makes you an early childhood teacher, similar to the 2-year version as well. I think
he said Masters of Education rather than Masters of Teaching.
Yes, so if it's Masters of Education specializing in early childhood, it is still fine. Just make sure it has the practical component where you will be having at least 45 days of supervised teaching practice. Then you have chosen the right course.
No, that's good.
Yes. And one more thing also is there was one program that I recently came across where it is a dual masters. It's a Masters of Teaching specializing in both early childhood and primary.
Okay.
So it will meet the skill assessment requirement for early childhood, but if you want to become a primary school teacher, you can as well. So it sort of both. It sort of gives you the dual competency. So that's with ACU guys, and that is also available in regional locations like Ballarat as well. So students who are like, okay, I want to be a teacher, but not to young infants, but to young learners, like that they are at the primary school age. Because everybody will have their preference in terms of what sort of teacher I want to be. So then you could do these dual courses as well that would still give you the opportunity for the early childhood PR pathway, but you would do the primary teacher career pathway.
Understood.
Yes.
And that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yes.
So anything else, Deepa?
I think we've pretty much covered everything. Let me just quickly refer to my notes if we have missed everything.
So yes, guys, if you've got any, concerns, or if you've got any queries in regards to course admissions, Deepa is always here sitting in our Melbourne City Collins branch. And of course, we are also guiding you through PR pathways. If you've got any concerns about permanent residency in regards to teaching, you can book a free consultation with me. My name is Kamaljeet Singh, registered migration agent. And we are always, present to help you in regards to your PR pathway inquiries. And Deepa, anything else you believe?
No, I just hope they found the session useful. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you, guys.